day after, Monday morning. How did you feel this morning, Duncan?
Absolutely fantastic. It was a great weekend. It was just such a joy to see so many people happy. You know, I've mentioned before how it's been a couple of years since they've had anything to sort of like to applaud, and I think we gave them that. It was a nail-biting game, as we know. I've now seen bits and pieces of the game, and that's what happens in a game of football. Sometimes you get decisions, sometimes you don't, and we've been on the end of bad decisions before. But I think you still got to remain professional.
If we take all the emotion out of the day and we look at the game for the 60-odd minutes where it was 11 against 11, where did you think your side stacked up against Luton?
Well, I thought, it was 11 v 11. I was, I had it in my mind because when Danny Mitchell had a great chance to square Paul in. Although they'd had their chances, they squandered their chances. We had a fantastic chance to put Paul Connor in, and it was a tap-in for him. And then Danny had another chance not long after. It was a flick on into him, and he's hit it first time, and he could have brought it down, and he could have made more of it. So we could have actually gone in at 2-0, to be honest with you. And then they get the goal back. I was disappointed in that because I said to the team, make sure you start out the blocks. They're going to come at you. They've got nothing to lose. They need to score. All we do is don't lose. And then, to be fair, they got the goal. The dynamic did change of the game, but we carried on and we kept going and we kept going. And at that time, it's you're thinking it's going to go into extra time. Unfortunately, they had players taken off, but they dealt with it pretty well, to be honest with you, going down to the 9 men. But when you do go to 9 men, you've got to get men back in behind the ball, which they did. But I always thought that we might be able to catch them on the break. And to be fair, they defended really well. I was disappointed with the lads because I did say to them that instead of I thought too many people wanted to be the hero on the day and scored the goal. So I think when you're up against 9 men, just pass the ball, just keep passing the ball, and you'll end up with 2v1s around the park, and you'll create your chances. I mean, sometimes there was a couple of crosses going in. There's only one person in the box. We had 11 players on the pitch, so they have to learn by that in case that ever happens again.
Let's put it to bed for now. You've got to refocus on Tuesday night against Histon. How difficult is it going to be to get your players down and grounded once again after Saturday?
I've just said to them this morning, the first thing I addressed all the players and I said, right, this will be the last time I'm going to mention it. I'll probably have to mention it this afternoon with the press, but I want to put Wembley to bed now. It's done. We're going there on the 7th of May. We'll worry about that nearer the time. I've said to them all, to remain professional. Don't want to hear them talking about it. We've got a game tomorrow that we need to win. We need 3 points. I want the 3 points. I said, the Histon team will be looking. If I was their manager, I'll be thinking, we've got Mansfield coming down tomorrow. They're going to be on a high from knowing they're going to Wembley. Probably that's the best time to get a hold of us. Well, I want our players to say the reason why we're going to Wembley is because of this, and then make a statement. In other words, coming out with points and winning the game.
They've got a point to prove, haven't they, Histon, tomorrow? They've got you in their sights, and I mean, what do you make of them?
Well, I think there's players in that side that can cause upsets. I've gone through their report this morning, and I can see where they are dangerous. Obviously, I won't mention that over the air. But I think we've got enough in our camp to consolidate what we need to do and to get a victory.
What about team selection? Because the players have had to go through 120 minutes worth of football on Saturday. They've had the emotional euphoria as well. No doubt a heavyish night on Saturday as well. I mean, freshness is probably not something that's going to be readily available in your players' legs on Tuesday night.
Well, the other reason is that obviously you've got. You had Ashley Kane's come off with a thigh strain. He's been told. I'm going to go down and see the players again in a moment. With a thigh strain, Silky had a bit of a niggle, so he was getting treatment this morning. Obviously, you've got Nixie who had the head injury, so he can't have him to sees the doctor. But then again, it opens it up for other players now. You see, so if they come in tomorrow and they to produce a performance, then they can claim a shirt and keep it. It's all about them now. If they've got an opportunity again to show to me that they deserve to beat this football club, it's down to them.
Opportunities for other players to come in. I mean, just to take the wider season in perspective now, in regard to your league campaign, is it a case of just getting through the rest of these games, or is there still an aim and an objective, which is to grab a playoff spot if you can?
Yeah, I mean, I know the chances are slim, and I know that, but I know mathematically you can still do it. So as long as I know I can still do it, I should try for it. I should grab and fight for every point I can get. Because who's to say we can't go on a run? I've said it before, but this might be the catalyst. This might be the thing that's going to say, what, we have got a chance. Because other teams are slipping up. And you'll see that. I've seen a result the weekend, which I would have thought would have happened. Wrexham getting beat by Fleetwood. I wouldn't have said that. So teams will slip up. All we've got to do is just keep working hard, keep doing it professionally, have a belief that we can make it. So all we've got to do, we've got to look after. We can't worry about what the teams do. We've got to look at what we're doing. If we can go and get some points together on the board, we've still got games in hand on certain teams, then we have a chance.
Is Ashley Kane out for a while? Or?
Don't know. I'm going to go and speak to him in a moment, because obviously I was training this morning, so he's been with the physio all morning, and obviously I've just come back from the training, so I'll go down to the physio and find out exactly how he is. I think it was someone's style. You get two injuries that you get when you have a direct blow onto you. You get an intermuscular haematoma and an intramuscular haematoma. The intra is the worst one to get. You can have it in your thigh for like a couple of weeks, 3 weeks. If it's an intermuscular haematoma, then it'd probably be okay. So we'll just see. Obviously, I don't think he'll be ready for Tuesday, tomorrow night. However, you never know in this game, do you? He might take me gaffer. I'm okay. So, but again, it gives other people opportunity, doesn't it? You know, that's what's important.
Is Mr. Mott back in? Sorry, Mr. Mott back in?
No, I'm waiting to speak to Jason. Speaking to there, because he should have been. He was rescanned again today, so we'll find out this afternoon again. I'll have more answers for you over the next couple of days, to be honest with you.
Malty's not one though where he's going to be out for good now.
Oh no.
See him back here, right?
Oh, I can see him, and I want him back here, and I think he'd probably want to come back here. I think he'd want a chance to play at Wembley, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
You know, I think and there's a chance of that. So no, I want Malty back because obviously he's important to us. You know, it's just so unfortunate that he pulled his back. But you know, I want him back at Fieldman.
Yeah. And
tomorrow
Silky.
too soon. Tomorrow.
I think tomorrow will be too soon for tomorrow. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Silky, is he likely to be
Just a niggle. So I mean, like I say, I won't know until I go down and see them.
Yeah. What's he done, Silky? Is it?
He had a niggle. I think it was on. It might have been on his knee. I'm not sure what Jason said, but
yeah.
I said that I'd come back after training and go and speak to them.
Yeah. I know you mentioned it briefly on Saturday after the game, but your thoughts now on the players in terms of remaining focused. If they want to play at Wembley, they've got to do it in the league, haven't they?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If any of my players do not perform, to their optimal performance levels, which they're capable of doing, I will know that.
Yeah. And
that could jeopardise their chances of starting at Wembley. I've told the players this, they know this. I don't just pick on what happens on a Saturday. I pick from what happens between a Monday and a Friday. Their energy levels and their enthusiasm, and they're willing to try and to train hard and be professional. I take all that into consideration. I don't care whether you're the best paid player at the club. I don't care. If you don't put the effort in during the week, then you won't play on a Saturday.
I know after Saturday, I think I mentioned it to you, but even since then, a lot of the fans have been talking about how well Tom Naylor played. Just how sort of good do you think he could be in the future?
Ever so. I think it's not going to be long before people are knocking on this door, without a doubt. He's such. I spoke to Kevin Samworth about it, and I asked Kevin. I said, Kevin, what do you think? When you play alongside him, such a young lad. He said, well, you don't have to think for him. Yeah. He makes great decisions. He makes the odd mistake, which he has done, and he will do that because he's learning his trade.
Yeah.
But he's so mature in his play.
Yeah.
I mean, again in training this morning, he just looks such a cut above a lot of other players. I don't mean my players, but other players that I've seen in that position.
Yeah.
And you look at the people like the forwards at Luton.
Yeah.
Well, no, sometimes it's because we've got a centre half like Tom Naylor.
Yeah. Yeah.
We stop people playing.
Yeah. 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 Do you think he's capable of playing?
Yes.
Championship.
Yes.
Premiership?
Yes. I just think he's definitely ready for the next few levels, without a doubt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just to clarify, Russ, what's his contract situation?
We've got him to all next year.
Yeah.
All next year,
Yes. Signed a 2-year deal.
Yeah.
Under David.
Are you tempted to just make a few changes tomorrow to give some tired legs a rest?
I might have to, but I'm going to go down and speak to the physio now and find out what's what and who, how they are, and then I'll obviously have to look at that because again you get a couple of injuries. We've been really busy, as you know, a lot like other clubs have as well. But I think up this area, I think Notts County, they've been caught up with fixtures because of obviously the bad weather we had. So I think there could be a change tomorrow, without a doubt.
What about Alan Marriott? Is he nearer?
Yeah, I mean every game is getting nearer and nearer. But one thing you don't change is a keeper that's doing well. You don't just throw another keeper in because for the sake of throwing a keeper in. Yeah. I think the boy Groffy's done really, really well. Yes. I think he did tremendously again on Saturday.
Yeah.
You walk around Fieldmill and you see all the press cuttings on the walls. Now you've reached Wembley, surely there'll be new ones going up soon with your names. How does that feel?
It feels tremendous, but I just put them up when we've won, because we've still got to win the game. It's all right going to who remembers number 2 at Wembley. Not many people, not unless you're in this industry, then you know who reaches the finals. But I want to win the game. You know, I want to go to Wembley and win the game. I know what Darlington are about. We've played them a couple of times. We should have got a result at their place. We know that. But you know, they're going to be up for it as much as what we're up for it. And on the day, I think it's going to who holds their nerve the best, and to realise that, you know, again, I said this in my press conference. I think you've got to play the game and not the occasion. Well, that's going to be very difficult to say that to players when they go out and see, you know, what Wembley's like. But no, I think it's something, like I said before. I mean, I'll speak today about it. Then after today, I'm not really interested in talking about the Wembley trip.
So then tomorrow night it's a trip to bottom side Histon. They're going to be looking perhaps to shoot down at a trophy finalist. How important for you is it to take that winning momentum to Histon and get back on league form and keep the playoff dream alive? Yeah,
because I think what you have to realise is that excuse me, what you have to realise is that you don't want to go on a run of poor results and then go to Wembley, because you want to be hitting Wembley, you know, playing well, and certainly with some consistency. But also, the players have got to realise that, you know, their shirts are up for grabs, so they need to be able to perform as well. And I won't accept anything other than the best from them. So no, I'm going to Histon. We give them loads of respect. I know where they are in the league, but you know, they have got some resilience. We've seen what they were like when we played them here, and then we won the game at the very death. So no, they're still very dangerous, because I've always said teams down there, you know, fighting, they're in a dog fight, and you know, you just beware of a wounded animal. And I will take them totally seriously, and my team will.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Excellent. Smashing.